Hi, welcome to Chapter 9. No business like show business, or is it zoo business? One Saturday morning, Amelia Bedelia and her mother drove to Seven Gables Farm. Do you know where to go? Asked her mother when they arrived. Mrs. Hawthorne said she would leave me a note at the farm stand, answered Amelia Bedelia. Oh, that's not the right page. Hang on. Here it is. And sure enough, there it was. Amelia Bedelia, the babies are this way. Amelia Bedelia and her mother followed the arrow. But where were the duckies and bunnies? There were just two baby donkeys standing in a pen, blinking their large brown eyes at them. Hee-haw, one of them brayed. Amelia Bedelia stepped forward to scratch his long fuzzy ear. Where do you think they are? Asked Amelia Bedelia. Her mother shook her head as she surveyed the area. No bunnies or duckies in sight, she said. I wonder. Her voice trailed off, and she suddenly burst into laughter. What's so funny? Asked Amelia Bedelia. Her mother pointed to the sign on the donkey's pen. I'm so sorry, Cookie, but I don't think your petting zoo is going to happen. Our back seat isn't big enough. Amelia Bedelia stared at the sign on the donkey's enclosure. It read, Bunny and Ducky. Oh no. Mrs. Hawthorne hadn't been talking about ducklings and bunnies. She was talking about lending Amelia Bedelia her baby donkeys, named Ducky and Bunny. You have to admit, as far as misunderstandings go, this one is pretty funny. Her mother said that they got back into the car. Those foals are adorable. Amelia Bedelia shook her head. She didn't have to admit anything. She sighed. Everyone was going to be so disappointed, she said as they drove toward the school. How was she going to face her friends without animals for the petting zoo? Her mother made a right onto Main Street, and they drove past the animal shelter. Amelia Bedelia could see Dr. Wiggins heading inside. The puppy, she shouted. That's it. What's it? Said her mother. Stop the car, Mom, she yelled. Her mother glanced at her. I mean, please stop the car, Mom. Dr. Wiggins gazed down at the petting zoo, which now had a sign that said petting zoo plus pet adoption, with a huge smile on her face. What an amazing idea you had, she said to Amelia Bedelia, and thank goodness I had some extra puppy pins. The puppies from the animal shelter were wiggling and rolling and playing. Each puppy wore bunny ears and a cottontail, at least for now. Cliff and Clay had given Amelia Bedelia some of their extras. The petting zoo was popular. The line was super long. Amelia Bedelia ran the petting zoo part, and Dr. Wiggins had set up a table for the adoption paperwork. She was very busy. A bit later, Miss Crabtree and a few volunteers from the animal shelter showed up to help, and Amelia Bedelia took a break. People were lining up for the obstacle course, buying treats from the bake sale, taking silly photos, getting their faces painted, racing with eggs on spoons, submitting guesses for their jelly bean count. Lots of people had shown up in funny hats for the parade that would close the fair. Amelia Bedelia smiled. Things were going better than expected. She really hoped that the old incubator passed Mr. Jack's test, but if it didn't, they were going to raise a ton of money for a new one. Amelia Bedelia could hear Dawn over the loudspeaker. 5 minutes to the egg hunt. The egg hunt will be starting in 5 minutes. Come on, she said, grabbing Joy by the hand. The egg hunt is about to start. You're really good at noticing things that other people miss. I bet you can find a ton. They joined the large group gathered around Rose and Dawn. Welcome to the egg hunt, Dawn announced. The hunt will begin when Rose blows the whistle. Don't worry, there are plenty of eggs for everyone. Tweet! Charge! The crowd surged forward, nearly knocking a couple of kids to the ground. Once the stampede was over, Amelia Bedelia was clashing here and there, hunting for eggs. Joy stayed in the same spot, turning around and around to see what she could see. After the egg hunt that had been going on for 10 minutes, eggs were getting harder and harder to find. Even though Amelia Bedelia had helped to hide a few eggs, she couldn't remember exactly where she'd hidden them. She was happy to count 12 eggs in her basket. She hoped they were filled with chocolate, but when she glanced over at Joy, she felt really bad. Joy's basket was completely empty. Amelia Bedelia had dragged her over to be her partner, and now Joy had nothing to show for it. Don't worry, Joy, she said. I'll share mine with you. What is that? Asked Joy. What is what? Said Amelia Bedelia. That, said Joy. That right there. She pointed to the tree closest to the building. She began walking quickly toward it. Amelia Bedelia was almost running to keep up. She spotted an egg in a bush as they passed. Hey, Joy, there's an egg. You can. But Joy kept going. When they got to the tree, Joy reached up, trying to grab the lowest branch. I could use another foot, said Joy. I'm not tall enough. I can't help with that, said Amelia Bedelia, but I can give you a boost. Deal, said Joy. Amelia Bedelia joined her hands together, interlacing her fingers, and bent down. Okay, I'll count to 3, and then up you go, said Amelia Bedelia. 1, 2, 3. Got it, said Joy, grabbing the branch and pulling herself up. Soon Amelia Bedelia could barely spot her friend through the branches covered in white and pink blossoms. Come here, you rascal, you, said Joy. Shh, shh. It's okay, I got you. I wonder what she has. Who was Joy talking to? I'm coming back down, Joy called. She swung from branch to branch until she reached the lowest one. Then she hung there for a minute before dropping to the ground. Blossoms fell like snow all around her. Amelia put her hand under Joy's arm and helped her up. That was when she saw something moving around in Joy's sweatshirt. What is that? Said Amelia Bedelia. She's an old friend of ours. Joy reached into her sweatshirt pocket. Amelia Bedelia, say hello to Harriet.